So let me tell you, this was an explosive way to end a volume, man. This chapter was just chock full of excitement and action and ass-kicking.
One Piece chapter 377, the big showdown on the Judicial Island.
Man, this is so action-packed and just fucking, oh, God, I get this feeling of, like, Braveheart, man, just, like, taking over a country, you know? It's just, whew, boy. Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the awesome and adventure-filled, action-packed tale of One Piece. Our last chapter, of course, saw us with Luffy just sort of going, you know, just balls deep right in there, and not waiting for his companions and going and propelling himself over the first gate, the Iron Gate. It looked like, and then of course, you know, entering into the interior of the island, it looked like, just by taking out guys as he was going. And really, that's how the chapter left off. Certainly, the last panel was, hey, get ready. We're going to be going through and propelling on this shit, and we're going to storm the castle in 4 minutes. That was from Kokoro and the Rocket Man. But we know the Franky family, as well as, of course, the, you know, the dock workers and what have you know, Paulie and Lilu and them and stuff like that. Lulu, I'm sorry, Lilu. Anyway, my sister has a dog named Lilu, and that's what I got confused about. But anyway, Lulu and Paulie, you know, and a Tilestone. So everybody's going, and just the shit's about to break out, right? And that's how the chapter left off. The chapter picks up actually with Luffy just fucking going, just mowing over people, man. I mean, it's great to see because he's just like a one-man wrecking ball. He's just going through just dozens, if not hundreds of soldiers on his way across the bridge and try to get onto the main island, right? So as he approaches the gate to the main island and he's taking guys out, he jumps on this dude's back and he's like, "Gum Gum Ally Robot," and he wraps himself around the guy and he starts making the dude punch and kick his you know, his teammates, his cohorts, his coworkers, right? And he's like, "Sorry, sir, sorry." And then these two dudes get behind him, they're like, "Enough of that crap, we got your back is wide open." As they go to hit him, he jumps up and stands on both their heads and then just clanks them together, man. Just, oh, it was beautiful, right? So then he goes and he takes out some more guys, he's dodging, he's spinning, he's dodging bullets, he's dodging sword swipes, whatever, taking everybody out along the way. Then he goes and he just like grabs himself and stretches out and propels himself, and he's like, "Hey, listen, I gotta get going and go on ahead, but don't worry, there'll be other people that'll be coming, you know." So he's kind of letting them know, "I can't fight you right now, bro, but some of my people are gonna come and take your ass out. So, you know, just rest assured, rest up, load your guns, whatever you gotta do. They'll be right behind me." And he's just like, rockets himself over the gate into the island, you know, onto the actual island, onto the actual main island, right? And at some point during all this commotion and everything like that, you know, obviously these reports are coming back to Spandam or Spander or whatever you want to call that, the dingling. And you know, and he's starting to get a little nervous about things. And I don't know if it's so much that he's nervous about things as it is that he's like, you know what, this is kind of an embarrassment to the world government. This is the entryway into the world government and just kind of their area and everything else. It would be like it'd be like an embarrassment if like I was just able to jump over a fence and break into the Pentagon, right? You know, or something like that here in the United States. So, you know, definitely, yeah, I understand where he's coming from, you know, to some degree. You know, it's like, hey, we can't let this happen. We also find out during the course of the chapter that there's 10,000 soldiers on the island, you know, as we find out that towards the end of the chapter. But then what I like is after it goes and it takes away from Luffy over there, right? Then it goes back to the first gate, you know, the main gate or whatever that they're trying to bust down. And you've got Franky family fighting side by side, obviously with the dock workers and whatnot. You get to see some moves from Lulu. You get to see, and I like Paulie a lot. You get to see some moves from him, figure eight, not this and that, dude. They got 3 bigger Franky family dudes that are banging on the door trying to take it out, man. And you just look at it, it looks like a freaking riot that's like out of control, man. You know, it looks like when the Bulls three-peated back in like the first time back in like 94 or 95, and there's people like turning cars over and shit, just riots, people running through the streets. And that's what you feel like here, because even though it's a smaller force, you know, a lot of these guys are formidable foes, I would hope, or I would think, and they're drawn very well, too. And anyway, they wind up going and managing to bust through this gate, right? They got a dude with a rocket launcher. As they go and bust through the gate, and we kind of get this reports back and forth from Spandam. Spandam's like, you know, where is, and what are their names over here? Yeah, he goes, where is Kashi and Oimo, right? And you don't know who they are at first, and they're just like, well, sir, it's night, you know, they're sleeping. And also, this is the island of endless night or endless day. So basically, somehow or another, like, this island's like always lit up. It's always daytime there, and I'm sure that that'll be explained eventually. So you don't have to spoil it for me or anything, but that's something that was worth mentioning that they did talk about a chapter or two ago. So anyway, obviously, when it's like a day cycle, you know, when it's technically nighttime, you got to be sleeping. They're sleeping, and he's just like, wake them up, you know, what the hell, right? So they wind up going and getting these guys up or whatever, Oimo and Kashi or whatever, and we see these dudes as the Franky family and everybody else goes and busts through that first gate, and these dudes they're fucking huge, man. Now I know that size doesn't really matter necessarily in One Piece, and we've seen that on a couple of different occasions, but these dudes are straight up giants, bro, and these are the island gatekeepers of Enies Lobby. So, you know, these guys, even the biggest Franky family members here, these three dudes that are probably standing 10 or 15 feet tall, these guys stand over them. These are like Broggy and Dory type of giants, right? You know, and actually it would have been so cool if somehow or another, like, Dory and Broggy could have been, like, brought along or something like that on this journey with them, or they could have somehow contacted them for some backup or some shit, man. That would have been sweet, just giants fighting and pummeling each other. Anyway, sorry, I'm having a little One Piece wet dream over here. But anyway, let's get that off to the side over there and back at the matter at hand. And really, this is wrapping up the volume over. It's the last chapter, so I mean, it's just balls to the wall action. It's like the best action scenes of like any movie that you can think of. Just the way it's drawn, I cannot wait to see it in the anime. But anyway, that's gonna still be a little ways off because we're just getting into the Foxy, you know, arc or whatever. So we're still, you know, 50 episodes away. But anyway, again, off track. Sorry. So you wind up seeing that's how it's kind of left off with them. Obviously, everybody's going to have to go and somehow take down or get past those giants, right? And then we go and we see this great double-page spread. And I mean, this is just drawn so beautifully. You just look at that. Luffy is literally standing in the middle and surrounded by thousands of soldiers, right? I mean, they're everywhere. They're up the fucking stairs. They're coming out the windows. Dude, there's a guy over there taking a shit. It's a bunch of people, you know, and they even say, this is where they say there's 10,000 soldiers on Enies Lobby. Luffy's like, yeah, I'm all by myself. Get out of my way. And it's just so simple-minded, man. I just love this, you know, because these guys are like, how many dozens of your cohorts did you bring? And he's just like, yeah, I'm by myself. Get out of my way. You know, and to Luffy, it's just like, I could care less about numbers. Like, he's not a mathematician. He don't give a fuck. You know, he's just going to come at you with everything he's got, and then he's going to come at you, he's going to turn it up to 11, he's going to come at you with more, you know. So, that's how it ends off the chapter. That's how the volume ends off, and man, what a good one. A lot of action, a lot of fights, just a lot happened, and here we are in Enies Lobby. But my chapter question for you, though, brothers and sisters, is really, you know, I like the design of these giants, you know, these giant characters, but I really kind of just wanted to get your thoughts and feelings on just sort of the whole action sequence as far as everybody kind of storming the castle. And we didn't even actually see, of course, the Rocket Man come flying in yet, because they, you know, it's the Franky family's job along with the dock workers to get everything open, you know, for the first couple of gates anyway, to get them, you know, a clear shot to the main island. But man, I mean, what are your thoughts on just how everything, I guess, was depicted and drawn? I had a real sense of scale. I had a real sense of scale, that there was just so much going on, and that even though Luffy was the one-man army, that you had all these other guys coming in and taking out stuff, banging down doors, taking guys out, grabbing this, grabbing that. What are your thoughts, though, on just, I guess, the fight and how it's been depicted so far, as well as the giants? And I'm sure that they're, in some ways, probably going to be kind of throwaway characters just to be defeated. But certainly, what was your thoughts on them as well, on Kashi and Oino? Let me know what your answer to that question is, or those questions, in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will look forward to catching all of you in the next one. Nation.
Remember to follow me on my other channels as well as Facebook and Twitter and Instagram.